Hi everybody, welcome to this very short tutorial and review of Sleeklens presets for Lightroom. Um, specifically, these are for landscape photography, and they've called them Through the Woods. I've not done many, in fact, if any, of these online webinars or tutorials. And I apologise for any mistakes that I may make or waffling about I may do, and I hope you can understand this West of Scotland Scottish accent. Unfortunately, there's no subtitles, so I hope you can make out what I'm trying to say. Moving on to these presets. Sleeklens has created these presets and brushes for both Photoshop and Lightroom, and they asked me which I would prefer, and since Lightroom is my basic area that I work in, it makes sense for me to have a look through these and see what I think of them and see if I can make them work for me, and hopefully you can make them work for you. In general, I don't currently use presets with my images. In fact, I'll be lucky if I use, I think I've got a couple that I've user ones that I've made over the years, very basic stuff like maybe little things that can happen to every image, like infrared, the basic adjustments, a little sepia toning, split toning if I want to add that to maybe a black and white image, sharpening edges. Don't really use that anymore, don't know why I've got that in there. And initial adjustments, which is just like chromatic aberration removal, things like that. But other than that, I tend to work through every image individually. I feel I can do that quite quickly, to be honest. I've probably got my own preset in my head that I do certain things first and move on and then work into an image just to get it to what I would want it to look like, or as close to what I perceived it would look like when I was taking an image. So Sleeklens has got these down here. You can see they're Through the Woods presets. Basically, there's 7 groups or layers, 0 to 6. Your zeros at the top here, you can see are all in one, quite self-explanatory. Maybe I like to call them one-hit wonders, possibly. And if you want something quick, then you want to hit a button, get your image to look like something, export it and walk away, then this could be for you. What I would suggest is always adjust it to which suits that image. You can't just, very rarely you're going to find an image that you can just click a button and preset will move that to look perfect and that's you, walk away. If it was that easy, then who would do photography? Because that's the fun in that. But they can be good starting points. So that was Calming Sunset, or Calm Sunset, I've called it. Quite high in the vibrance, as I say here. I don't know if you would like that. Plays along with a lot with these sliders. Love Me Tender. It's quite a washed out look. And you can click through these, see if there's something you like. That's not too bad. Your Pastel Caress. There's a few black and white ones in here as well. I think mid-range. This image would possibly suit a black and white, but today we're just going to be working in colour and see if there's anything we can get from it. I should have said before, this is an image taken. It was just a snap taken on a recce round about Glen Finglas in the Trossachs National Park. I was up there a month or two back in the winter, as you can see, quite a barren and sparse landscape, but in the right conditions can be pretty spectacular. I was just up there seeing if there's any compositions that I'd like to go back to. If I manage to get up there when there's some snow or frost or some ice on the reservoir, can be nice, and some nice light. But so this was it's this Sony, as I say, I think I said the RX100, the Mark II is what I've got. So I carry this in my pocket when I'm on these little recce's and trips and walks, just to record things to jog my memory before I go back up there with intent to shoot properly. So as I said, going back to the presets, you can click and see what you want to do. What we're going to do with this is the rest of the presets here, 1 to 6, are like layers. You've got a base layer, exposure, color correct, tone, polish, vignette. You can work your way through it, and they can build on top of each other as you go along, starting maybe giving you a kind of an idea of a workflow to work through your image. So I'll reset this one back to here, and we can start from, we'll start at the base layer here. So again, there's a black and white one there if you wanted to use. Basic film, seen as it's not a bad one there to start with. They've got high dynamic range, pushes it all the way. Punchy, down to a whisper. These can work on top of each other, so if you're clicking one, be conscious that you might be mixing them together. I'm going to reset again, and I've had a little look at this before, and one that I went with, it's not too severe, is Dancing in the Rain. But as I've said before, that work with each image individually, as I'm sure everybody does anyway. But this image, for instance, the highlights are way blown out of here. You can see this. I always work with a histogram and try and contain everything within this little area without your triangles lighting up here. So I would go 9 times out of 10, I have my highlights, especially for landscapes, I reset them back to -100, just to get as much detail in there as I can. Sometimes you can't do that, but just as a general thing, it's one of the first things I would do. Going on, we could maybe play with exposure. Bringing that back again, I think I would like to darken this. It just gives you a little more detail in the cloud again. Blues, maybe I'm not liking those blues so much, but for this, the purpose of this could maybe just lighten those shadows a little too, and that takes it a little bit away from that darkened blue up there. You could, if you wish, you can bring them back, lighten them back up again. I think what they've done there is this contrast became a bit washed out, but we'll leave it for this experiment, or this little exercise. Let's see where we can go with this. Moving on to the colour correct, I mentioned the blues. You can reduce blues, greens, reds, yellows. Simple click a button. See if we can deep blue skies. It's not too bad. It doesn't look too saturated. It's something I wouldn't like to do too often, is oversaturate, especially a sky. And with it being so barren, I think I would move down to your tone and tint. I'd like to warm it up just a little. So let's try that. Yeah, you get a little bit more colour, but more reds, oranges in there, bringing a bit of life to your image. As I say, I was working through these myself. I'd be going through the hue, and just there's a couple of little sliders that I like to play with, just to bring those, to define those greens and yellows and oranges. I tend to push them apart, but we'll leave it as is just now, because it's all about using these presets just now. The next one after this, let's see, polish. You can play about your clarity. Not a slider that I use very much, if at all. Contrast. It's pushing it to pretty much black darks there. I would take that back again. Not something. Contrast to me in Lightroom is, if I use it, it would probably be maybe a black and white conversion that I was working on in here. I could maybe push the whites and the blacks with the contrast, but other than that, I tend to just use your whites and black sliders individually to push that contrast. Okay, so from here, let's maybe just sharpen it up. Let's see what that would do. You should always click on your 100% to see what that's doing. You've got that's pushed it quite far up, to be honest, and for this camera, I think the radius would be around about 0.8. The detail, you don't want to overcook these, especially a sharpening, because you can boom, make it look really unnatural. I think we'll get away with just down there. And your masking, just to bring it back a little. There we go. I'll leave it there, just to give it that little definition round about that little mound. And we could finish off with maybe vignettes. You've got a selection here of pretty standard stuff. It's your medium black, medium white, strong black, strong white, subtle black, subtle white. Let's go in the middle here, gives me a starting point. Medium black. And yeah, what it's actually using is post-crop vignette. What I do 9 times out of 10 if I'm using this is I put the feather fully on so I can see where my midpoint is. I like to keep the midpoint quite far in so that it can look more natural as I reduce the feather and bright back, and you see very little. From here you can then darken and lighten. You can see no matter how much you push in, you're not really going to see much there because of the feathering. I think that about there will do. And that's the presets. That's me went through them. But I would like to just put one little bit on at the end. I might be happy with that, you might not, but I would like to see this exposure lifted. Maybe to, yeah, it gives just a little bit more detail in the shadow if I just lift that a little. As I said before, contrast, I would always have that 0. For the purpose of this, I'll leave it in notes. It doesn't look too bad. It has washed it out a little. But we're still getting enough from our blacks here. Well, what we'll do is we push those blacks just before it starts to clip. And same with the whites. I could maybe squeeze a little bit more out of them. And that maybe gives a little bit more contrast back. Leaving that slider there. There we go. And there you go. That's you could move on from here. I mean, there's, as we all know, Lightroom is a wonderful tool. As I've mentioned before, for me, I like to move these yellows just a little touch to the green side. You get this little bit here, and then with oranges, you can play with, but I generally tend to push it back towards the red, and that gives you a little bit of definition between the shades of the grass here. It's very, very personal photography, as we know. It's put its own split toning. I mean, that's been added in with one of these. Probably the base layer has probably done that, just to give it its own tint. You again can change these any way you want. You might want to make it a little colder in the shadows. You would put it up to your blues. You can lift it back up and down. Yeah, same with the highlights. If you wanted your highlights to maybe get a little more, you can play with these whichever way you desire. But as I said before, I'll go back to what they've done here in the presets, so we'll leave it here. For this point, if I was wanting to present an image, it shows the extent of my use of Photoshop. Is I maybe have a little preset in here, and it's for one thing and one thing only, really, unless there's a little work to be done with cloning in an image. But Photoshop for me is very rarely used, except when I'm wanting to stick a little white frame around it. That's where I go in there for that. expensive bit of software to be used just for this, but I'm happy with what I do in there, and that's the main thing, because Lightroom for me it works well. I know where I'm going and such like. So there I've stuck a little white presentational border around it. I tend to do that before maybe sharing it on social media or what have you, just to present it a little better. Take it back into Lightroom. We'll have a look at it in here, and should hopefully that's that. That's the image using the presets created by Sleeklens. That's their Through the Woods landscape presets. There's also a set of brushes that are in here. Whether I'll have time to go through them individually, I don't know, but what I will show just now, if I go back to the other image, I'll maybe try and do a little bit just now since we're here. If, for instance, all your tools here, your graduated filters, for instance, if you wanted that, you can, obviously, I can tilt that. Didn't realise there was one already on this. And you could do a new. You might want to, they're all here. Again, it's Through the Woods, so you've got contrast, clarity, desaturation. Say you wanted to make the sky, that's for craziness, let's maybe make it golden sky. You see the yellow here, and I would place that over where you would want this to be. Again, you can move these sliders to adjust what you'd like to do, and keeping that, you've clipped out whites and stuff, so you would probably reduce those highlights and bring the whites back. Everything's a bit high, but anyway, that's maybe another webinar if I get stuck into that. But you've got them here in the brush, obviously the brush tool. Again, Through the Woods, you can choose. I would possibly use it for things like this. Again, let's go add golden sun. You wanted to add some golden sun, maybe to around here. But just maybe keep this flow very low, because you want to do these things subtly. If you were straight in here, you're just making that pretty yellow. You can see it there, which isn't very natural, to be honest. Once it's there, you can add exposure and what have you to adjust it to your own desires. But what I will do is keep your flow very low, and you can maybe just build it if you wanted this side to just get a little hint of that golden sun that I mentioned. You could maybe do that, maybe move in a bit here so we can see. And let's see if you can see what's happening. If you wanted, you could go over edges, etc., with just that little tint to change things. Maybe just as if it's morning light, but it's taking a bit of manipulation to do that. But again, it's down to individual tastes, and for the moment I'm not going to be using these for this image. I'm just going to leave it as is. I hope what I've blabbed on about has been of some use to one or two of you, and if you'd like the Sleeklens presets and brushes, then go to their website. I should have a link below this that you can click on to go and see and give them a try, and I hope you've understood what I've said and you've stuck with it, and thanks for listening. Cheers, bye bye.